What are the keys to a successful marriage? Well, that's been the subject of many a debate and discussion. The following tips help in making your marriage a success. How do you keep a marriage from breaking apart? What is the secret to a long, happily married life? What are the fundamental pillars of a healthy relationship? Well, these are the questions that have been the driving force behind plenty of best-selling relationship advice books and Bibles. Not just books and magazines, but even our daily newspapers, or at least the weekend editions, are filled with marriage counseling columns, agony and advice, and whatnot. Based on what I've read so far, and also from what a couple of my married friends told me, here is my list. 5 tips to a successful marriage. Love. This may sound a little cliched, but love is one of the main pillars of a successful, happy, and long-lasting marriage. It can often make up for the lack of other near-essential ingredients such as financial wealth, comforts, luxuries, etc. However, a marriage without love will never last. It is the foundation of a relationship upon which all other things are eventually built. Communication. Open and effective communication is a must for any relationship to stand the test of time. Many a time, it happens that a person thinks X, but does not convey it to his or her partner, or worse, conveys it as Y. Communication should be two-way, and it should be in a way in which your partner is able to understand what it is that you want to convey. Communication need not always be verbal. Often a slight touch, or a moment of eye contact can say much more than what 100 words probably could. Companionship. This is one aspect that most wedded couples remain in the dark about or miss out on. Sure, a marriage is about we, rather than you and me, but at the same time, it is also about retaining your identity, individuality, and enjoying it with your companion. It is about sharing each other's interests in a positive way. It does not mean that you blindly or unwillingly take up your partner's interest. The point is about showing an interest in your partner's likes, and supporting them in whatever way you can. Maintaining the spark. This is another aspect of a successful marriage which unfortunately remains sidelined or ignored as the days tick by. In the initial few months or couple of years, all is nice and rosy, and there are hardly any dull moments in the relationship. However, as the newness or the shine begins to wear off, the flame slowly but surely begins to weaken, and before you realize it, it gets doused. The trick here is to keep reinventing yourself as a couple and to reignite the spark or flame whenever necessary. Infuse a bit of life into your marriage if you find it heading towards a plateau. The graph should always rise, never should it remain lifeless at a plateau, and never should it drop down. Ego. You need to throw your individual egos out of the window. I know it's much easier said than done, and it's nearly an impossible thing to do as far as men are concerned, but that's the plain truth, whether you like it or not. It often happens that individual egos get in the way of a perfectly happy and stable relationship. It is a common marital problem. Individual income, career progress, etc., are common reasons which fuel ego-related relationship issues, arguments, and fights. This is where proper communication and understanding play a very important mediating role. Others maintain physical intimacy. It plays a very important and significant role in keeping the romance alive. Many a time, sex can be just the spark that your marriage needs. Never leave a major fight unresolved and sleep over it, or storm out of the house. It will just hide in the far corner of your mind, multiply quietly like a virus, and resurface at a later point of time causing more damage. Always try to settle your arguments or fights there and then itself. Do not take each other for granted. This tends to happen quite regularly as the years pile up. Appreciate every small thing that your partner does for you and express gratitude towards him/her. It will go a long way in strengthening and maintaining the bond between the two of you. Accept and love your partner for who he/she is. Do not try to change who they are, as this will only cause resentment in the relationship. These were a few tips that can help in a marriage become successful. Here's my concise take on it as a conclusion: a huge dollop of love, with a generous sprinkling of understanding, and 2 spoons of communication. All served on a plate of care.